YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels back with the final team record prediction video. We're on the Seahawks. We did all the other teams, so go check them out if you haven't already. And after the Seahawks video, tomorrow, which is Friday the 24th, we will have the playoff prediction video based on what I had here. Maybe some changes coming, so before the season starts, maybe next week, I'll have my final updated video breaking down the placings in the division, the playoff predictions, and then the Super Bowl prediction if there's any changes. Maybe final thoughts going on the season. But for this video, it's the Seahawks. We're using this website, playoffpredictors.com, for all these videos. Link in the description. Go check it out. But let's break down the Seahawks. Obviously, the team's looking different. You know, Cam Chancellor retires. Richard Sherman gone. Really, that defense is kind of falling apart. Michael Bennett gone. You know, they pick up some guys, though, on the defensive line. They got a couple of Vikings defensive tackles that I actually like. Shamar Stephen actually was a rotation guy for the Vikings, so I actually really like that pickup. He's an impressive player with a lot of potential. So good pickup there. They still have a pretty good linebacker unit. What does Earl Thomas got left for them? I think he wants out. I mean, you still could expect him to play at a high level. The defensive back unit, you know, besides Earl Thomas, looking a little, you know, not looking great. But, you know, there's some wild card guys, and we know that we're going to get from the linebacker, but there's some wild card guys in the D-line, a couple young guys that could really step up. Offensive side, and we got one of the best in football, Russell Wilson. Running back, who's going to be the running back? Is it going to be Rashad Penny? Is it going to be Carson? You know, Rashad Penny, wing, coming in, weighing in a little more than maybe they like. I heard that recently, up to 236, if that's correct. A little heavier than I expected him. Doesn't mean he can't play. I was a little surprised by that first-round pick, but you got Russell Wilson there. You know, the offensive line isn't too great. They never could really build that offensive line. You know, they got some young guys in there that could step up, but a little disappointing. And receivers, Doug Baldwin, does Brandon Marshall step up? So, you know, I don't like this team. I don't like where it's heading. I like Russell Wilson a lot. You know, maybe my favorite player that's not on my favorite team in football. You know, you got to respect him. I think other quarterbacks that haven't been known as great have had better teams than him, or better offensive weapons than him. So you wish they would get him some guys. Something I recently saw is that they apparently offered a second rounder for Jacoby Brissette. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if anybody else saw that. It's kind of weird, though. You know, Jacoby Brissett's a fine quarterback, got potential. I liked him coming out of NC State. You know, he's better than a lot of starters in the league, and he's going to be a backup. But do you trade a second rounder for a backup? And I don't want to label him a backup, but on the Seahawks, I will label him a backup because Russell Wilson's a starter. That's one thing. Number two is Russell Wilson's really not I don't want to jinx him, injury-prone guy, and they've kind of known that. They've had some weird guys as their backups in the past, you know, that really aren't good backups, and it worked out for him because Russell Wilson didn't get hurt. So why all of a sudden now they're trying to get a good backup? What I'm thinking is maybe they're going to finish off this rebuild stage. They're going to get a young quarterback that can start for a second rounder, trade Russell Wilson for a boatload of picks. Is that an option? You know, it's kind of hard to believe, but could it be an option? Can they just keep going? They missed their window maybe. You know, maybe Russell Wilson plays just out of his mind. He's kind of already has, but maybe he gets even better, and they end up being a pretty solid team. So we'll see. Interesting situation in Seattle. They could still be good because, like I said, Russell Wilson. But you know, this is maybe one of their worst rosters in years, but they've been good. They have had good teams, so we'll see. Let's get into the schedule. Week 1 is against the Broncos. You know, I think at the end of the season, the Broncos could be a better team than the Seahawks. It could be close. The difference could be Russell Wilson, but Week 1, I think Wilson and the Seahawks will be more prepared than the Broncos. Is maybe what I'm predicting. Wilson's going to win some games on his own. So I'll pick the Seahawks in Week 1. Week 2 is in Chicago. That's a Monday night game. That's tough. You know, the Bears are going to get better as the season goes on. At this point, Week 2, are they that much better than the Seahawks? Probably not, but at Soldier Field Monday night, it's kind of tough to play. I got the Bears in that one. Week 3 is against the Cowboys. Home against the Cowboys. You know, how's the Cowboys defense going to be? That's a question. They got some good guys, good talent on the defense, but it's been, you know, it hasn't been a good defense in the last few years. So the Seahawks could put up points, but I'm also predicting the Cowboys put up a lot of points. I will take the Cowboys in that one. Week 4 is in Arizona, division game. I think pretty even teams here. The Cardinals actually might have more superstar talent on their team, even though the Seahawks do have Russell Wilson. I'll take the Cardinals at home. I think they can split this year. And home against the Rams, I actually think they'll get one on the Rams. Like I said, Russell Wilson will win some. He'll be impressive. He'll win some games on his own like he has in the past. So I'm predicting them to upset the Rams here at home. Week 6 is in Oakland for the Raiders game. Oh, it's not in Oakland. Actually, it's in London. And the Raiders got too much offense there. I got the Raiders in that one. Week 7 is the bye week. Week 8 is in Detroit. Man, this could go either way. I don't know my thoughts on the Lions yet. I think their offense could be pretty darn good, but I think their defense actually could take a step down. Usually when I'm torn on these games, I usually take the home team because it does matter a good amount in the last few years, pretty much forever. So I'll take the Lions in that one. Could go either way. Could be a very high-scoring game. Week 9, home against the Chargers. I like the Chargers this year. Very good team. Very good team on paper. Let's see if they play like that. I know that's a little bit of a question. Seahawks aren't that good on paper, but they may play good. So the opposite's there. Week 10 is in L.A. for the Rams. I had the Seahawks upsetting the Rams the first time. No way they do it twice. I'll take the Rams. Week 11, home against the Packers, Thursday night. I picked the Seahawks in the Packers video. I'm actually going to stick with it. Just something about Thursday night in Seattle. I think Russell Wilson goes off on this Packers defense. I think he's one of these games that he can win on his own against a good team. It's going to be a little surprising sometimes. It really shouldn't be. But, the Packers defense heading in the right direction, but, I'm not a fan of it lately. So this year is it going to be that much improved? Probably not. Could be a little bit, but Week 12 is in Carolina. I will take Cam Newton and the Panthers in that one. I think that they put up a good amount of points on them. Week 13, they are home against the Niners. I will take them. I think the Niners are a better team, even though maybe they don't have anybody elite. Maybe Richard Sherman still considered elite if he's on the field. So that should be a good one, but I'll take the Seahawks beating Richard Sherman there. The Vikings in Seattle. Monday night actually makes it kind of tough. I think this will be somewhat of a close game, but I think the Vikings are just a good I think they're just better. Pretty much just a lot better, so I will take them, but again, Seattle Monday night could go either way. Seahawks at Niners. I had the Seahawks beating the Niners in Seattle. I do not have them beating them in San Francisco, so I will take the Niners. Richard Sherman gets the last one here against his former team. Week 16 is home against the Chiefs. This one is actually, it's kind of tough. I picked the Chiefs in the Chiefs video. I will stick with it because I think they'll have a lot of offense. Seahawks don't have much defense anymore, so I think the offense will play very well for the Chiefs. But I think Russell Wilson, this is one of those games where I think he'll go off, maybe. Could go either way. Week 17, home against Arizona. I got the Seahawks winning that. Don't think they get 2-0'd by the Cardinals. So 5-11. It's tough to see 5-11 next to the Seahawks. But I think that's where they're heading. It's, last year they didn't make the playoffs, and the team this year, they had some injuries though, but the team this year is definitely not as good as last year's team, even though they had some injuries. So it's tough. It's very tough. It's just when you have a quarterback that good in his prime, and maybe they do better in this. People talking about the Packers. Rodgers is back. Maybe Russell Wilson isn't Rodgers, but I don't think he's very far off at all. But people talk about the Packers got Rodgers back, and that automatically puts them, which I'm not disagreeing or agreeing, but that automatically puts them back in contention, even though their defense has struggled and they don't really have a running back. The Seahawks kind of in a similar situation, so I guess the question is why can't they do it? That's the question. The thing I look at it is the Packers-Seahawks finished in a similar, somewhat of a similar record last year, and the Packers did not have their quarterback. So I guess that'll be the reasoning. But any things change like crazy a year to another year. You can see it's just even if somebody had the same exact team with no really potential improvements, just guys and they're veterans, and it changes. Their record changes completely. Their season changes completely. It's just the NFL. It happens. So we'll see. You never know. Every year there's those teams that we expect We expect to win their division, be great. You look at the sides here, the Steelers, the Vikings, the Falcons, the Eagles, the Jags. You look at those Patriots. Patriots you almost can guarantee over there. But, one of those teams I just named besides the Patriots won't win their division. One of those teams probably won't make the playoffs. That's just how the NFL works. Impossible to predict. And a team like the Seahawks or the Bears, one of those teams may sneak into the playoffs. We just don't know. Every year it surprises us. So it makes the NFL so great, so unpredictable. But, that'll do it for the Seahawks video. Let me know your guys' thoughts. We're finally through all these teams. We're going to predict the playoffs. Let's look what it's got for us here. Wild card. There's your wild card setup. I'm not going to make the picks now. I'm going to wait for an extra video tomorrow. And then over the weekend, we'll keep you posted on our Twitter, link in the description, frogs_angels. We'll keep you posted about the weekend video. Possibly could be a live stream. Still trying to figure things out. But other members of Frogs Angels will make their predictions so you guys can get a different view on things. Not everybody agree with mine. I understand how that works, though. So I want a couple other guys' opinions. So that should be fun. Then during the year, we got weekly pick'ems. Can't wait for football season. Can't wait. That'll do it for this one, though. Our subscriber goal is 10K subscribers, so help us out by clicking that button. And then don't forget to click that like button as well. That'd be much appreciated. But that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye.